Hello, so we have been given this snowflake schema diagram, and you can see we have the fact table, we have a dim batch table, we have a product table which has a hierarchy such that each product belongs to the product subtype and the product subtype belongs to a product type. Fact table is also connected to a dim machine table. This dim machine table has two parents, so it is part of two hierarchies. One, each machine has a machine type, so the parent is machine to machine type. Second, we also have this dim machine as another parent, dim plant, so dim machine has a parent, dim plant. We have been given the SQL code for this. The SQL code can be found in the SQL script that is attached in the assignment folder. So keep it open. Once we have our SSMS open, we will copy this code and run it there. So let's go ahead and log on to UDesk. So now let's get into UDesk. Open a new browser and type udesk.appstate.edu. You need to log on to UDesk using your credentials. And then go to Computer Lab. Make sure your credentials are correct. So let's go ahead, type File Explorer in the search bar, and we will go to //cis-analytics.its.appstate.edu/CIS, and then the two digits that were assigned to me. In my case, it is 00. In your case, it could be anything 01, 09, 10, whatever your code is, type it up. And then you hit enter. That will take you to your folder. You see, I have a lot of files here. You should only see maybe 2 or 3 folders. So what you would do is right click and create a new folder. So I'm going to one more folder. You don't have to go there. So once you are in CIS, your number 0001, whatever it is, you should see fewer files. Right click there and say new folder. And I'm going to write PTI underscore data warehouse, PTI underscore DW, and you hit enter. This is the folder where we'll be storing our database or data warehouse that we are creating, all those log files and the files for the database. This is where we'll be storing that. Just remember where you put it. Now, let's go ahead and open SSMS. So SQL Server Management Studio is going to be open. This may take a couple minutes. So I'm going to work on here. It says I'm connecting to my server. Make sure again the last 2 digits of this are the ones that correspond to your server. Mine is 00. Go ahead and connect it. Okay. So what we are going to do now is create a new database for the PTI data warehouse. To create a new database, you need to click on database, right click and say new database. Let's give it a name. So what does our instruction say? So we have to do last name underscore PTI underscore DW. So I will create one with my last name. You create one with yours. So Agrawal underscore PTI underscore data warehouse. Before you go any further, you will see down here logical names for the log file and the database file. Go to the path, scroll down like this and see path. We are going to change the path to the folder that we just created. In my case, I'm going to navigate to that PTI DW. You will go do the same. You should find it in student share, your CIS drive, and then PTI DW. Do the same thing for the log file. So once again, student share, CIS 00 and PTI data warehouse. Hit OK. OK again. Now you can expand your database and you will see that Agrawal PTI DW is created. Let's go ahead and create some tables. For this, I will highlight the name of the database that we just created, right click and say new query. Doing so should open a new window where you can write some queries. Okay. Well, we already have the query file that was given. So click on that file. I'm just going to select everything. So I'm hitting Control and A together. That will select everything. Then Control and C for copy. And then I go to my query page and say Control and V for pasting. So you may not use mouse in this because if you have things on UDesk and your local computer, that might be a little bit tricky. So just use the keyboard. So now I have the code here. Let's modify this code a little bit. So the first line says use go. Enter your database name here. So whatever name you have given, you will use that name here. So I'm going to say my name is AGRAWAL underscore PTI underscore DW. So you would do whatever is the name of this database here, your last name underscore PTI underscore DW. So just do that. And now let's look at the code. I will go one by one with some of the code, or we can execute all of it at the same time. So let's review some of the code before we actually go ahead and execute it. So the first line here is use this database. It means whatever next statements you have written are going to be applied to this database because see, I have several of them. The next thing we do is create table dim batch. So we are going to create all of these tables, primary key clustered. So let's look at this code. It says create table DB database object dim batch. So we are going to create a table called dim batch, and this table has batch number, which is integer and it cannot be null. This table also has batch name, which is a varchar. The way to write that would be n varchar 50, which is not null. Then I'm applying a constraint saying pk batch. So batch table, I'm giving a primary key constraint. This is the name of the constraint, and then I have primary key and I'm saying it's a clustered primary key batch number. So if I execute this, a table dim batch will be created. So let's do just this code. I'm not running it yet. Let's go to the next one. Then I do dim machine. So again, start the parentheses. I have machine number, which is an integer, cannot be null. Machine name, it's a varchar 50, cannot be null. Machine type, varchar 50, cannot be null. Plant number, integer, cannot be null. Manufacturer, n varchar 50, not null. Date of purchase is a date time variable, cannot be null. So see, this is a new data type for you, date time. So then again, I apply a constraint, give it a name pk machine because this is the primary key for the machine table. I call this primary key machine number. So machine number, this field is my primary key now. So far, what we have looked at is creating a table with all its fields, and in the end, we declare a constraint. So the last one I'm going to look at is the create table for the fact table. It's called fact manufacturing. So what I'm doing here is create table fact manufacturing and then list all the fields here from the table. Here it says product code should be integer, batch number integer, machine number integer, date of manufacturing is a date time, elapsed time is a decimal, is accepted product is an integer, rejected product is an integer. So let's go ahead and do that. See, we have everything. Product code is integer, and then we have date of manufacture is a date time, elapsed time is a decimal. So we go on like this, and in the end we have a primary key constraint. This one is interesting because this is a primary key in the fact table, which is one primary key, is a composite primary key composed of multiple fields. So if you look at your fact table, it has 4 different fields: product code, batch number, machine number, and date of manufacture. All 4 of them together form the primary key. So we say constraint PK manufacturing, because this is the primary key for the fact manufacturing table. Write the keywords primary key clustered, and then start a parenthesis and list all the 4 fields which together form the primary key. Alone or just by itself, product code is not the primary key, or the batch number or machine number or date of manufacture. Any of these alone is not the primary key. The whole combination of the 4 fields is the primary key. So we'll put the whole combination inside the primary key clustered parentheses separated by comma, no comma after the last one. So now we have declared the primary key constraint. So far, we have used the create table statement for all of these tables. We have declared the fields, we have declared the data types, and we have declared the primary key for each one of them. Notice that in this table, create table, or the create table for previous ones, we never mentioned anything about foreign keys. We'll do that in the next video. For now, right before alter table statement, go ahead, select all of them, and then you all the way up until the name of the database, you can go ahead and execute, and your tables will be created. So let's go ahead and do that. Once you hit execute, all your tables will be created. If you want to see them, you can go under your database, click on tables, expand it, and you should see all the tables are created. Let's go ahead and see one of these tables. Let's say the fact table. I'm going to expand it, and you can see what columns are there. So it does have all the columns created. And you can see that 4 of these columns together are the primary key, because you see this symbol next to it. And then there are others. Just to see what, if there is a foreign key or what keys are there, I can expand the key field, and you see only one primary key. So far, we have not done any foreign keys here. So we'll do the foreign keys in the next video.